children of the night. What music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's up?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brain.
Oh, what's better than a brand new opening to the show?
I did it. 5 or 6 months later, I did it.
Yeah, and
I wasn't looking. I didn't even see it.
Thank you for capturing my one moment in the bathroom. That was
You're
awesome.
welcome.
Play it again. I didn't see it.
Just waiting for the worst possible capture you can get. Oh, there we go.
I just went from I needed 2 clips, so it went from the episode we just recorded. That's as far back as I went. I had about 10 minutes to work on it. Done. Tim is out.
That's it. You'll never see him again, folks, until episode 300, probably.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's Final Guys. It's Taco Tuesday. It's Final Guy Tuesday. This is the best day of the week for all of you and all of us. And this week, because there is so much dreck coming out in the world of horror, we are going back in time to do 2 movies, the original Alligator from 1980 and Alligator 2, the Mutation from, I think, 91, somewhere around there, which those were my curation movies for this week. And then I had to rush and find something else to watch. Thank you. But whatever, we got through it. So I'm looking forward to hear what you guys think. I don't know if you've seen both of these before or not. So this should be, as Jason would say, an interesting conversation.
Alligator was going to be one of my curation ones as well. And then when there was just absolutely nothing to choose from, I was like, this feels like a good one to do as the main feature.
Yeah, I was going to do as curation Eaten Alive in Lake Placid, just make it all like gators. But
It's a good idea.
I mixed it up a little bit. There's just so much I could take.
I had never seen either one of these, so it was
virgin.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take your gator flour tonight. All right. Do you have anything to promote right now, Jason? I know there's a lot going on in your life right now.
No.
Nothing you want to talk about here?
Nope.
All right, there we go. But we do have words, and let's get them out while Sharon can hear the words, since he said he rolled over his power cord.
Yeah. All right, here are our drinking words. Jack, your words are Forester, Gator, and Hunter. Oh, he's got little gator emojis or something.
Or a green poop.
Gator done.
Hunter, yours are Flush, Bald, and Crowd. Mine are Practical, Detective, and Sequel. And the bonus words are Hawk, D, and Sewer.
This is when D. Wallace was still D. Wallace Stone. Which I had forgotten about that. Yes. She was still married to Mr. Stone.
She was kind of ripped. I saw in the one scene, she was kind of a sleeveless shirt. I was like, damn, D. Wallace.
That's why she's still holding it all together now. It starts young. So we're doomed.
Yeah, I'm totally screwed.
Yeah, we're going to look terrible. Terribler. Mr. Tastes Like Chicken, Jack Campese, you are our news guy. So I think it's time for your great bumper. Get ready.
I won't play without my bumper.
It's the news. Yay.
The union says Jack won't speak until the bumper is played. Damn it.
First of all, happy National Bourbon Day, Laura Hightower out there.
Do you think she's even sober to understand this by now?
The only reason I know this is because I saw somebody tweeted that at her. And so I ran to the cabinet because I was going dry tonight.
She's the queen of bourbon.
There is none higher. Sucker MCs call her Saya.
Oh, boy. Save your rap for later, dude.
I got no rap for later.
Oh,
we should give that a rest this week.
What's fine.
But I do have some interesting news for you.
Ooh.
I was gonna.
He's having a brain glitch.
The greatest Star Trek movie is Part 2, Wrath of Khan.
Of course.
Wasn't the one with the whales?
That's a really good one. but it's not the best one.
Okay.
So, in honor of that, or in hopes of recapturing some of that magic, we are getting a sequel to Becky. Becky 2: The Wrath of Becky. Remember that movie with
with Kevin James?
Well, Kevin James ain't in it anymore, but what the
Is Leah Remini now the bad
Lulu Wilson. I always want to say Lululemon. Lulu Wilson. So she's been living off the grid for 2 years. Then she finds herself going toe-to-toe with Daryl, the leader of a fascist organization, on the eve of an organized attack. And Daryl is played by Stifler, Sean William Scott.
So they're sticking with the comedian villain theme, huh?
Wow. He should play like the same character he did on Always Sunny. Remember he was Mac's cousin? Then I would watch that movie in a second.
I think Stifler's got potential to be a great villain. So,
I mean, funny guys have a dark side.
He's been good in some stuff. He was good in that Blumhouse movie, where he was a killer. What was that called?
I don't even remember.
Of all the movies you were going to talk about a sequel to, Becky was not on the list.
Never would have thought of that. I thought that looked like a pretty good one and doneer.
I wonder how big that girl's gotten. It's been a few years.
Well, it's just Stranger Things, right? We're used to these giant leaps in size for kids.
All right. I mean, I like the first one.
Becky had some great kills in it. So
yeah,
Becky
the
was
eye
good.
Snipping.
I said the lawnmower.
Yeah, that was a good one.
To me, the attraction of Becky was seeing Kevin James play such a bad piece of garbage.
Yes.
And it was a good movie.
And that giant guy who played the other bad guy.
Yeah, the wrestler. He was
huge.
He was actually pretty good in it.
Yeah, surprisingly. I mean, like, that's a good movie. So this is not going to be good. Just
this is
gonna
surprising.
Yeah.
Becky 2. What? The Wrath of Becky? That's really what they're calling it?
That is the name.
I thought that was a joke. All right.
All right.
Cook.
That will not be a main feature, just so you all are aware.
Revenge is a dish best served cold. It's very cold.
In the dustbin of curation somewhere by one of us.
You say that now, but if we have weeks like this where like there's nothing new out.
Well, I'll guarantee you what we watched today was probably better than anything else we could have picked that was new.
Yes.
Probably. Yeah.
Okay, not exactly horror, but horror adjacent. Were you guys fans of the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought it was okay.
Well, wasn't your Joker? That's why.
I had a couple of problems with it, but overall I thought it was fine for like a one-off, but
nope. Not a one-off.
Nope. They're doing a Joker 2. And the interesting thing is, rumor has it it's going to be a musical, and Lady Gaga is in talks to be Harley Quinn.
That has to be a joke.
It's not a joke.
It was on every news show this morning.
All over the place.
It was unbelievable.
What?
Yeah. So the beauty of the Joker movie is it's not really Batman and villains, and it could really happen. But now you're bringing in Harley Quinn and making it a musical. So,
I mean,
but the last one, you weren't sure if that was all happening in his head,
right?
So that could still be the case here. I'm all for this because I think Lady Gaga is awesome. So
she is.
You think this is a good idea?
Absolutely. Because I don't want
the musical.
Yes,
and he's in space.
First of all, lighten up, Brant. Oh, I'm sorry. The aspect ratio on this is indubitably not.
He didn't grow
sufficient.
up on cop rock like we did.
Yeah, sounds like fun. They shouldn't be. The first Joker movie was like a could we possibly do Taxi Driver any more blatantly? So I love the fact that you're going to switch it up and make it a musical and have some fun with it and go bonkers. I'm all for it because I don't think that they should even be doing a sequel to it. So
no, that's.
I mean, it made $1 billion. If you make $1 billion, it's getting a sequel. A musical, Is Todd Phillips doing it?
Yeah.
All right. At least there's someone competent making it. He knows what he's doing.
I'm thinking of Planet of the Apes musical. You finally made a monkey out of me.
Can I play the piano anymore?
Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas.
Well, we'll see. I'm
This is
sure.
hurting, Jason. This is tough.
This is the
to watch.
dumbest fucking idea I've heard in a while.
But at least it got Lady Gaga, not like Selena Gomez.
I was a little
You know what I mean?
surprised by Becky too, but Joker the musical.
This is like a 1-2 punch tonight.
like, what the hell is happening?
DC is just really on fire for multiple versions of the same characters at the same time. They're like, yeah,
Just-
sure, let's have 3 Batmans, let's have 6 Jokers, 8 Harley Quinns.
It's
Just stick to making
interesting.
cartoons, DC.
Yeah.
Stay in your lane.
I'm really curious to see because again, Lady Gaga, every movie she's been in, she's been really good in. So,
And she can sing her ass off. So
oh yeah,
I'll give it that.
I'd like to know what Margot Robbie thinks. Not that she cares, but
It's like, thank God I don't have to do this.
Just happy she doesn't be in those shitty fucking movies anymore.
she looks down from her pile of money. Well, they're still going to make movies with her too. So,
Are they?
Wow.
oh good, yeah, they're not done with her. Come on.
Because this is reality-based Batman stuff, where the other stuff is fantasy. Come on.
Are they making more Suicide Squad movies?
I don't know what their plans are, but they're definitely Margot Robbie and Gal Gadot are not going anywhere if they're smart.
Yeah, I think what we're saying is they're not smart. DC is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Well, actually, they just hired somebody. I think they're looking for a new Kevin Feige like head to start to steer the ship for them. I don't know if they've actually approved somebody.
Compared with what they've done, I mean, they could go down to Hollywood Boulevard and get a crackhead, and they would just be like, one idea. Go with one idea.
Just get Flanagan. See if he's got any time.
No,
Or
so that's-
Ari Aster. Ari Aster taking over the DC
Oh
universe.
my god!
That would be fascinating. 4-hour movies.
We would all love them, and they would bomb horribly.
Yes.
An Ari Aster Batman movie. You ever read Arkham Asylum? He would make an amazing Arkham Asylum movie.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
That'd be nice.
The last piece of news is that we are getting yet another reboot. This time it's The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which last was Christopher Walken.
So there's nothing original coming out
No.
anywhere, anytime.
So the director is Lindsay Beer, which is a great name.
I like it.
She is currently working on a streaming series for Paramount about Pet Cemetery. So
Really?
I don't know if this is the prequel that they were talking about, because I know that there was
Please.
a prequel to the movie, the remake of Pet Cemetery, which I hated,
Yeah.
was getting a prequel. I don't know if that's this or if this is yet another Pet Cemetery thing.
Wow. Wow. Like, does anyone in Hollywood, do they have like anybody who reads who can tell them, you know, there's like 15 really good books every month being published that could be movies?
Dude, we're at a point right now where there are more stories being told than ever in human history by a mile, and yet stories are getting concentrated down more and more and more to nothing. We're
Name
getting the same
recognition.
5 stories.
It's all name recognition. That's what
Yeah,
it's
they,
about.
they don't want to risk anything that's new. They're like,
It's so wild.
well,
Remake, Cape, Star Wars.
they
There you
can't
go.
win with. They can't win with you. They're going to take a risk with musical Joker, and you're not up for that. But then when they remake,
Well,
Yeah,
we don't have to go that far.
that's
afield.
what I'm hoping for. Oh my god!
do you
I
think
am
they'll
going-
have I'm a Joker, I'm a smoker, I'm a midnight
That would
toker?
be amazing.
Come on, you got to.
I am going to start a GoFundMe. I'm going to make a silent musical. I hope you'll all join
That
me.
might
on
actually be a
journey.
musical I would like.
Right?
That
It would be
might
like-
actually work.
Like Nosferatu. Silent musical.
I like it.
You like it? See, there we go. I need $5. $5 from every person
I'm
in America.
pledging.
Thank you.
All right, that's all the news that's fit to print.
All right, let's go on to much better things because that was just all terrible news.
We have such sights to show you.
By the way, Jabber Caroni, I have not burst into flames yet because that's fake sunlight. I live in a fake world. I live in the Matrix. So what you see over here is not really light.
I'm living in a world of darkness.
And by the way, the musical I'd like to see made into a movie is the Evil Dead musical, which is amazing. If you ever got a chance to see it on Off-Broadway, it was one of the best things I've ever spent my money on. So I am interested to see what Jason got to watch because I know you've been uber busy and we didn't decide to do this movie until the last minute and then made it 2 movies.
Yeah, that yesterday was interesting for me. Sneaking these in.
Yeah.
I finished the second one at 1:00 in the morning. I did not get much in, but
I thought so.
did get to watch something with Jack and Chad on Friday with Joe Bob. I don't know what the hell happened to someone else.
Sad things going on. I was busy. Then I got tired.
But we did get to watch something I think you talked about a year ago or something called Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker.
Oh, I love that movie. Jamie McNichol.
I don't think I'd ever heard of it until you talked about it and then just promptly forgot about it. Wow, this is a good movie. Like, this is a lot of fun. Not a high body count considering how the movie starts. You think it's just going to be, just a crazy ass slasher.
Yeah.
And while it's crazy high body count, but damn, was this good. This was just like a fun Joe Bob movie that I've been waiting all year for. Get ridiculous kill at the beginning, an incestuous aunt from hell who just gets crazier and crazier and whose performance gets better and better as the movie goes on. And I don't want to spoil too much, but it's a high school kid who is orphaned at the beginning, lives with his aunt who is not well. Oh, yeah, Bill Paxton. Very, very young Bill Paxton.
Skinny Bill Paxton.
Who just kind of disappears from the movie. But this is a ton of fun. If you haven't heard of it, just like I hadn't, definitely check this out on Shudder. It's just solid. It's not even like a bad Joe Bob movie that is fun to watch. It's just pretty solid.
Jimmy McNichol, Christie's brother, Bo Svensson from Walking Tall 2.
Love Bo. And Julia Duffy from Newhart. And if you ever wanted to see her naked, that's the movie. Because I wondered.
It's good stuff.
Watching Newhart.
We're gonna encounter another Newhart person later in this show.
Yes, we are. Jack, what you got?
Many years ago, there was a movie called Wyrmword that was this awesome kind of road warrior, cartoony, zombie, insane thing. Yeah.
Yes.
That I stumbled upon, watched, and loved it. Like, oh my God, it was really funny. Well, I probably watched that movie 6 or 7 years ago. I don't know, remember. We were doing this show, I think, so maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah.
They finally came out with a sequel, Wyrmwood Apocalypse. So I fired it up this week and watched it. Not as good as the original. Now, to be honest, I did not watch a recap, so I forgot a lot of what happened in the first one. I just kind of remembered the basics. It's still a fun, insane movie and just incredibly colorful and zany. But there are a few characters from the first movie, especially this Bianca Brady, who you love. She's like this hybrid human zombie. She's also a smoke show.
Nice.
Her and this other guy from the first movie there she is. They're in it like at the beginning, and then they're not in it till like the third act, and you really miss them, and you focus on a couple of other people, and it's kind of not as funny. But having said that, if you're a fan of the first movie, you should watch this. You'll enjoy it. But just kind of like a step down from the first one. But still.
I never saw the first one, so I was thinking of doing just one after the other. Just do a double feature one day.
The first one you should absolutely watch. This one, yeah, check it out.
This one
but
looks nuts.
The visuals are really cool in this.
it does look good. It like I said,
Wow.
if the first one's like an A, this is like a B minus.
I can't remember if I saw all of the first one. It came out a while ago now. Really.
The
7,
weird
8
thing
years
about
ago?
is that the zombies emit their breath is like fuel. So the humans capture the zombies and put masks on them, and they like power their cars and their electricity and stuff with zombies.
God, could we use that right now in this country?
Yes.
Let's start making zombies right now. Wow. All right. Well, that's good because I wanted to check that out. So I'll
Yeah, you
take
should
a
check
B
it out.
minus. A B minus this year on the graded curve is like an A plus. We'll take it.
It's true.
In my rush to find curation, I was tooling around Tubi, and I saw Bigfoot versus Megalodon.
Ooh.
Wow.
I'm like, how can I pass this? I have written both Bigfoot books and a Megalodon book. I did not know it was a cartoon.
Oh no.
So cartoon as in bad computer animation.
Oh.
It made like
Oh.
any episode of Jimmy Neutron look like Star Wars. So
Jimmy
bad.
Neutron. Wow. I haven't thought about that in a while.
So, but oh my God, that's the most deceiving poster of all time. So what's going on? This is set in like the year 4045. And here's the premise. It should be good. So there are starships out there with allies. And as far as I can tell, there's only a couple of humans, but they live in these robotic outfits because that way they don't have to animate their mouths when they talk. And the allies have Bigfoot as their friend. He spends a lot of time just running around in circles, jogging off his pent-up energy with this big mouth that can't close. So when he talks, it doesn't go in sync. And they're battling lizard versions of Aleister Crowley and Joseph Stalin.
What?
They look like gray aliens, but they're green. And somewhere in there is this half man, half megalodon shark who stands in this like tank of half water with robots around. They just do a lot of "I am the conquering megalodon" and just nonsense words all the time. So I'm watching this going, well, there better be some good fighting if I'm going to sit in this for an hour and 17 minutes. And I better see some like Bigfoot wailing on Megalodon. They never even meet in this movie. They're never on the same starship. It's you're muted, dude.
God damn it. That would take animating, and they don't have the time or money for that.
Oh, there's a lot of like scenes of people walking down corridors over and over again. It's just talking, but nobody's mouths are moving.
I wonder if they bought free animation assets, or not free, but they bought them, and didn't have the skill to actually do much animation of their own.
The robots and the ships look good as you're going to get with this. The shark and Bigfoot look like children made them. And so speaking of that, 10 minutes in, I'm going, oh, so this is probably like a kid's cartoon. And then the two humans start talking about how he won't come inside her and she's tired of wiping his load off her belly. And I'm like, whoa, yes, it's so boring. And at one point, Megalodon shark calls the woman the C word. I was like, I don't understand who the audience is for this. Like,
what is this movie?
Tubi, Bigfoot versus Megalodon. You will see neither of them fight. You will watch bad animation for an hour and 17 minutes and just listen to psycho talk because they didn't have the money to actually animate anything happening. It's mind-blowing. And I think it's a sequel. It sounded like there was something else that happened before this. But if you ever wanted to see Joseph Stalin as a reptilian alien, this is the one.
Aleister Crowley, is that what you said?
Aleister Crowley was in it. Oh, and the human guy was a clone many times over of what's his face from Dracula, the doctor, Van Helsing.
Van Helsing.
But they would call him VH.
What are you even saying at this point?
That's it. It was just word vomit that they just created this thing and then spent a half a day animating it.
And now they're making pennies off Tubi.
100 pennies.
Take your pennies and go.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is what
something-
happens when you're a Bigfoot completist. You get stuck with shit like this.
Sometimes you just don't have to watch it.
I know, but it was short.
It's there.
Bigfoot. Yeah.
I watched something a
hurt.
little better that I actually thought of you when I was watching it, particularly at the end. It was called Missing 411: The Hunted.
I think I've seen that.
with what's his guy? What's his face? Polides. David
Polides. Yeah, I
Polides.
just want to say Paulides.
I actually
Polides.
spent like $60 for one of his books years ago when they were hard to find.
Really?
Yeah, and they're basically like just police reports, case files of missing people.
Well,
It's not
this is
compelling.
based on one of his books, I think,
Yeah.
about missing hunters and all these strange things that happen to them. Well, there's really not much information on here about it.
No.
So
Well, he tries to keep it vague too.
yeah, it's a lot of just, a group of hunters went out, one of them disappeared. Somebody went hiking, one of them they found some weird evidence and then a body 2 years later, and they have no idea what happened, why. Some pretty cool stuff. The first hour and 20 minutes of this is very compelling, beautifully shot. I mean, the way this is
Yeah.
put together, it's a top-notch documentary. And then the last two cases have nothing to do with anything that happened before. One is about some guys who are hearing Bigfoot or something at a camp by Yosemite, and a guy seen a ball of light. I'm like, wait, what the hell does any of this have to do with a missing person? Like,
Well, I think that was like probably the producers were like, well, everyone thinks this is about Bigfoot, so you got to put an alien, so you got to put that in there.
so then the last case is about a woman who saw the predator in her woods by her house. It's like,
Who
what
hasn't?
just happened to this documentary? This is so stupid all of a sudden. It was just a missing person's, hey, there's some weird stuff going on here.
Get to the chopper.
And, he's kind of hinting that there might be something supernatural, but he doesn't really go into it much. And then the last 20 minutes, this feels like a different documentary all of a sudden. It really lowered my opinion of it the last 20 minutes. But the first part
Yeah.
is just phenomenal, and it's so well made. The way they use maps and show where evidence was found and where the bodies were found, and how somebody got 6 miles in the snow without shoes and all this stuff is
Without
just
shoes.
yeah, it's
They're always
outstanding.
without shoes.
And at the end, a woman is going hunting at 6:30 in the evening because that's when people go hunting, and sees the predator in a tree in front of her.
Stick
What?
around.
Oh, it was so frustrating. But the first part is outstanding. But God,
I get
after
it.
That.
I think Polides was probably pissed when he saw that, but it's what you have to do to get it out there. So I understand. It has nothing to do with his casework.
I think I saw the first half of this movie because I don't remember the second half. I think something came up and I had to turn it off, and I never went back. And now I'm kind of glad I didn't.
You're good. You're good. The end is just so perplexing.
Cool, because the first part was like the guys and they spread out in the woods to try and find their friend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at the end, they literally even called it the Predator. It was just mind-boggling.
Well, what do you have to like compare it against? I get it.
So yeah. Watch the first hour and 20. As soon as they get to where they start talking about is it Yellowstone or Yosemite? I can't remember.
I think it was Yosemite.
But as soon as you hear about some guys going to a camping lodge out in the middle of nowhere and they won't show what it looks like, turn it off. It's downhill.
Run away.
Run away. By the way, Jack, your drinking buddy's here.
Hi, Tower.
Hello,
Happy Bourbon
Hightower.
Day.
There you go. Shot.
Happy Bourbon Day, Hightower.
And there you go. Take a drink, Jack. Take a nice sip.
I'm almost done.
All right, take a little sip then. Save some for Alligator. There you go. Now expound
All right.
on your
Well,
thing.
you called yourself a completist.
Yes.
I did a little vampire completist.
Yeah. See, we're both slaves to a genre.
1966, Queen of Blood. This features John Saxon, Basil Rathbone,
Basil Rathbone, Sherlock Holmes.
Dennis Hopper.
Oh my lord!
You might know Judy Meredith, but
What
I
a
only
bizarre cast.
when I had bookmarked this, I only knew it as a space vampire with John Saxon, and then like when I started the movie and it's like Dennis Hopper, I was like, what?
Yeah,
That's pretty
oh
wild.
my god, young
Old
Dennis Hopper.
Basil Rathbone, kind of on the back nine.
Yeah.
I guess I read about this afterwards. I guess Roger Corman was involved with the making of this, but he's not like advertised.
Right. Forrest Ackerman's in it. As
Yes.
Faraday's aide. Oh wow.
So it turns out this is a movie about a like a rocket from an alien race contacts Earth or something, and they send their rocket, but it crash lands on Mars. So then the Earthlings have a moon base, so they send a rocket to rescue and so they can meet these aliens. Half of this movie was taken from other movies, like Russian sci-fi movies, and I guess they got
This sounds like
the
Corman.
footage, so they reworked this plot. So like the first half of this movie is all spaceship shots and moon bases and stuff. So the Earthlings go instead of just like flying to Mars, they fly to the moon, then get on another ship and fly to Mars. Then they land on one of the moons of Mars, and then they go to Mars. So there's a lot of like, wow, there's a lot of legs on this trip.
A lot of layovers. Who booked this goddamn trip?
But when you finally get to the moon of Mars, they find this woman, this green woman who doesn't speak. So she's one of those aliens. So they take her to Mars where the rest of their people are. It's confusing.
Wow.
But it turns out she is like a space vampire.
Oh, kind of like Life Force.
Yes, Life Force definitely took a page out of this.
Wow.
The protocols for dealing with an alien species is hilarious. Dennis Hopper has a water bottle and is like, here, try some. And she takes this. So they're sharing a water bottle. You're like, oh, that's
because they never went through coronavirus. They had no idea.
Right. And there's no like, okay, let's just all go to bed and leave her.
Should be fine.
Like with free reign and stuff like that. They do a really cool effect when she has like these hypnotic eyes that glow. Right. And I read later that basically they just took 2 pen lights and shined them on her eyes. And it's
Therefore,
awesome.
Blinding her for days.
So again, I'm really glad I watched a video about this on YouTube. Because I noticed this. Dennis Hopper has this smirk on his face the whole time. And apparently John Saxon says that he tried to take it seriously while the camera was on, because Hopper was just like couldn't keep a straight face.
It's probably also higher than a DC-10 flying to Vegas.
So as writers, you guys, if you watch this, you're going to notice it's a pretty fun little movie.
Right.
But there's so many places where they drop the ball with the plot. Like they'll be like, I can't think of a specific example, but something like, oh, well, if we go down that corridor, we could be stranded forever. And then they never go down that corridor. Like they keep bringing up these awesome scenarios and then they never follow through on them. You're like, wait, what? And then there's one off the cuff thing that John Saxon says is like, oh, well, she must have been a queen. That like makes no sense. And that's why they get the title Queen of Blood.
It's obvious. Can't you see?
But like I watched Planet of the Vampires. This could have been more Planet of the Vampires because there was actual vampire
on a planet.
So this is on Prime. I think Prime or Tubi. Well worth of I watched it like a Saturday morning, and enjoyed myself thoroughly. And I mean, look, young John Saxon and Dennis Hopper.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
And old Basil Rathbone. I
Yes.
gotta see that.
I guess Basil Rathbone, another one of those like showed up for one day, didn't
Yeah.
know his lines.
Disconnect him from his cancer treatment. Get him in here. Get him out.
Oh,
A sandwich.
and I think the movie's supposed to take place in like 1990 or something like that.
Ooh,
Like, in the future of 1990.
That's
I'm actually
hilarious
gonna
that
watch this.
Dennis Hopper just laughed through the whole thing.
He
love
was
that.
amazing. Well, Jack, I'm gonna dovetail on that. I like to use that word every now and then because after willing myself to die watching Bigfoot versus Megalodon, I said, well, I got to rally myself at this point. I got to find something good. And then I looked over at my shelf and I said, I remember I bought this movie at Chiller Theater, Hangar 18.
Oh, yeah.
The great sci-fi alien crash landing movie from 1980 starring Darren McGavin,
My man.
who was definitely still stealing some of his Kolchak clothes. It also has Gary Collins, him and James Hampton. If you saw James Hampton, you'd go, "Oh, that guy! He was in everything in the 70s."
Robert Vaughn
is in that. Robert Vaughn is like the scumbag guy trying to get the president reelected and trying to suppress.
When is Robert Vaughn not the scumbag?
I know he was impeccably dressed though. But this is a space shuttle mission, and there are actual video footage of the space shuttle, which I was like, was it? Because this was shot in the 70s. I guess I thought it started in the 80s, but I was wrong. There's an alien right there. The space shuttle, Gary Collins is in charge of the space shuttle, and they're going to deploy a satellite. And supposedly this whole movie is based on people coming to them and revealing what's really in Hangar 18. When they're about to let the satellite go, there's an alien ship, which is nothing but a blip on this radar. And then the ship and the satellite crash, and then the ship crashes to Earth. And then the cover-up begins. And it's up to these two astronauts who are going to try to blow the lid on it. And so Robert Vaughn spends a lot of time trying to get every character actor from the 1970s to stop them or to keep an eye on them. I'm like, just kill them. Like,
really?
Simplest thing to do would be just kill them. But no, they spend like an hour running around deserts and stuff like that. But
stop it for a second. Stop the that guy, not
there you go.
The other. That other guy was in everything. Longest Yard.
James Hampton. I thought
James
he was
Hampton?
still alive, but yeah, he passed away. So just 2 years ago.
He's like ultimate, like that guy's in everything guy.
He was like always the dad, always like a cool dad. And he's great in this movie, by the way. He has some really hysterical lines in this. Look, the effects are just cheesy as all hell, but to see just Darren McGavin really on top of his game in this movie, trying to like find the secrets of what's going on because there are alien bodies in there. And I know it kind of draws on Chariots of the Gods to kind of that theory in the very end. But this is a fun ass 1980s sci-fi movie.
I got to watch this when I come over.
Dude, yeah, come on over. Blu-ray, baby. Anytime. So Hangar 18.
I've heard of this.
You'd like this. You definitely would. It's got enough of a cheese factor to be funny when it needs to be funny. And we know a lot of stuff about UFOs, so you'll get it.
That's such a Hunter Shea movie.
Oh my god, totally. You could watch this every day. I know, Jason, you got nothing else. You can't.
No, I'm tapped.
What about you, Jack?
I'm done.
Oh, well, I got one more thing. And this is to you, Jack. Jack bought me this book, My Favorite Horror Movie. So this is by Christian Ackerman, and it's 48 essays by horror creators on the film that shaped them. I don't really think these films shaped most of them, but you will recognize a couple of the names. Serena Vincent.
Oh, yeah.
Cabin Fever.
Supremely talented.
Yep. And another one, Felissa Rose. So they all really went out on a limb and dug deep to find movies that we would never think, like Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween, Psycho, Creepshow, Alien, and American Werewolf in London.
But deep cuts there.
Super deep cuts. The guy I loved who went totally afar, Beaches, the Bette Midler movie. He explained away why that's a horror movie.
Isn't
that
that
was
when
kinda
the wind beneath my wings came from that, didn't it?
You are the wind. Yes. I mean, and there's a lot of repeats. So multiple Dawn of the Dead's, Nightmare on Elm Street, The Thing.
Oh.
So you're not going to get a lot of. There's a couple of movies like The Sighting, Valerie and Her Week of Wonders. Like those are a couple of like real deep cuts.
Yeah.
There's also by Hunter Johnson, Sleepaway Camp 2, Unhappy Campers.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah.
And look, it's a hodgepodge. Some are written pretty well, and some you're like, oh, okay, well, thanks for your thoughts.
But now, part of the reason I got this for you for like Christmas, number one, because I thought it would be an interesting read for you. But number two, the reason I picked that book was because of the short chapters. I was like, this is a great number two book. So with all the crap, with all the guff you take from people, I was like, I'm buying you a book specifically to read on the can.
It was perfect. You could read like 4 people's things per poop. It was pretty good. Because nothing is easy. Nothing's easy at this age.
That book's been flagged.
Who wants to borrow this? Who wants to win a copy of this book? That's chocolate on the pages, you jerks. Scratch and Sniff, my favorite horror movie. Okay, we're tapped out of curation, but you know what? I hope we have some energy left because we got 2 movies to discuss: Alligators 1 and 2. Let it fly.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
I know what comes to mind. Reptiles and Sewers comes to mind. Thanks to the good folks at Shudder, they have, because I saw somebody had just reissued some Blu-ray version of Alligator, and I almost went out and bought it. I still might. But yeah, they have Alligator and Alligator II, The Mutation. This is double feature, fun time, folks. So no rapping, right, Jack? You're not going to rap this. But can we have music in the background? Yeah, anyway.
Sure.
Like it just gets me in the mood if I hear something. And you just talk. You don't have to rap. You could Shatner it.
This isn't the one we did last week, was it?
I think it is. Yeah, Jack was grooving. He had
in the past. People have flushed alligators down the toilet and into the sewer system. And 2 times this has resulted in mutations of giant killer alligators. That's right.
Fade out.
It's Alligator 1. And Alligator 2.
Didn't know if that was a pause or if something went wrong with the video.
There's not much to synopsize.
There isn't. And if you synopsize one, you have synopsize both.
Gator goes in the sewer. Gator grows. Gator comes out of the sewer. Eats people. Somebody blows up the alligator.
Boom. There you go. One is a classic.
One
is
so
not.
much.
So, Jason, you never saw these. I guess we'll go. Well, let's do one. All right. We'll do one first. And
I thoroughly enjoyed the first one. I'm actually surprised this escaped me for this long. This is right in my wheelhouse. A creature feature with tons of great practical effects, tons of models, live gators, shitty looking animatronics. It's just, I love everything about it. And I mean, you can't go wrong with Robert Forster.
No.
I thoroughly enjoyed this. It's just cheesy goodness.
Jack, I know you're going to like this.
Well, I saw this once when I was a kid, and so it was great. I've been meaning to go back and watch this. So just like you, I had heard about the Blu-ray. I was like, oh, maybe I should get that. And then it came on Shudder. I was like, oh, good. I had kind of no intention of watching part 2 anytime soon because I'd already heard people griping about it, but I thought it was a good idea to get them both out of the way so we could kind of compare and contrast. But as far as the first one goes, I was surprised because when I saw it the first time, it was probably on TV, like ABC or something like that, movie of the week.
Right.
So it had commercials and everything like that. And I had no appreciation for Robert Forster or anybody else in that movie. Yeah, so surprisingly enjoyable movie. And this is one of the first kind of Jaws in the wake of Jaws movies.
Yeah,
kind of
straight up Jaws.
It almost sets the precedent for Jaws ripoff movies. It does it so well, and they, from there they go downhill. But entertaining, great special effects, a lot of fun. I had a good time.
I mean, it's probably been 20-something years since I saw Alligator. I saw it once in the 80s, once in the 90s. And I remember really liking, because to me, you give me any animal that's going berserk anywhere, I'm in, especially if it's a city. In my memory, I thought it was New York. I didn't realize it was Chicago. Robert Forster, by the way, taking it on the chin, having it written in the script as male pattern baldness.
Yeah.
Not many actors would go there and allow that to happen. So
I was almost wondering if they were cutting his hair like that on purpose as some kind of a joke, because they kept bringing it up.
Well, that's the way his hair was.
Strange.
I've seen him enough. And not only everybody in that movie, Jack Carter, the old-time comedian who played the mayor.
Yes.
You should look at him up. He was a colorful guy in real life. But almost everybody in that, at one point I turned to my wife, I said, wow, in the first 10 minutes, there were more overweight, unattractive old men in this movie than in any movie I've ever seen. This is absolutely stunning that they got this work. But that's what also gave some of those movies some gravitas, where you had these older, it wasn't just young, pretty people running around. This movie is as much fun as I remember it. It's actually even more fun. There were some scenes in this that just blew my mind. They're just a blast. It's Jaws, straight up Jaws and sewers on land, but it's just a shit ton of fun.
Although in the Jaws dynamic, you've got Forrester as Brody. Is it Michael Gaza? The name of the hunter guy.
Oh, yeah,
bad guy and everything.
Yep,
he's the Quint, and then basically the girl is Hooper, because she's the girl, the scientist.
By the way, if you did the math, so she was the girl who flushed the gator, and it was 10 years later, and she's a doctor, she's 22, and she's already got a doctorate, and she's banging old man Foster.
Yeah.
By the way, I love the fact that he said something like "you're smart," whatever, and you got great tits.
Yes.
When he was done, he should have slapped her in the ass and sent her out of the room.
That line killed me. I was like, holy crap. That was hilarious writing.
Welcome to 1980, ladies.
Well, I'm sitting there going, wow, so in the Jaws dynamic, Brody's hooking up with Hooper.
Yes, totally.
I had two scenes in this that just made it stand out above everything else. The pool scene with the kid.
Yes.
Whoa. Whoa.
Wasn't that amazing?
First of all, how nobody saw it in the pool? It had to be the length of the whole damn pool.
But yes, because this alligator is enormous.
Yeah. And the angle it came from where the kid fell off the diving board, it's no. There's no way.
10 feet.
Well, kids don't pay attention. They have no spatial awareness. And
no. I mean, the alligator could not have fit in the pool from that angle.
Well, maybe the tail was curved around.
Yeah, sure.
When you take a big deuce,
the kid thought it was a pool toy.
Oh, it was so good. And then when it just bursts up through the concrete sidewalk, that was just chef's kiss.
Thank you. That's my favorite scene. And preceding that is when the cops are trying to get the kids playing baseball out of the street, and the kids are coming short of just saying, "Go fuck yourself."
Yeah.
Don't care at all.
Welcome to Chicago. Michael Clark brings up, which was better, alligator or grizzly? Oh, that's a Sophie's choice right there.
Still haven't seen Grizzly.
That is tough because Grizzly is
Mm. Oh, I don't know. You could every day. I'll say the different answer. They're in the same category.
Grizzly's got what's his name? The guy who's in everything. Jekyll.
Richard Jekyll. Yeah, that's who he was missing.
I think it's so bad it's good, kind of.
No, it's just good.
Just good.
Yeah, Grizzly 2, so bad it's good.
Oh,
for sure.
The Grizzly is like has a great decapitation.
That was my first. You never forget your first decapitation.
And yeah, they both have their charm. I might put Grizzly over this.
It's a tough one.
So tough. Sometimes we just watch really old, cheesy, over the top movies too, like the Chuck Norris stuff. They're not always bad movies. They're just way over the top.
Right.
That's still not Grizzly. That doesn't qualify. Still, it's just good.
No, it's just good. Yeah, I saw that as a double feature with Jaws.
Oh wow!
Way back when.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. By the way, do you know the dialogue in this movie is excellent? Like the humor is spot on. It's written by John Sayles.
I did not know that.
And the director is the same guy who did Cujo and Cat's Eye.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, Louis Teague. So there's some skill there. It's not like Mick Garris.
The other thing that happens in this movie, and
I'm joking. I'm hoping Tim is listening.
Wow.
The other thing that happens in this movie, and the Quint guy is the best example of it, is they kind of introduce something that you think is going to be a bigger part of the movie, and they are quickly disposed of.
Yeah, boy. Unceremoniously.
Yep.
But you wanted to see it. Like, you got to see a lot of things you want to happen to people.
Yeah, there were a couple times people show up and you're like, oh, God, we got to follow this. No, he's dead. You're good.
The wedding scene, which it looks like a WWF thing at one point with bodies flying everywhere because the tail is flicking people left and right, jumping off the turnbuckle. It was great.
Love that the giant alligator makes its way to the wedding of the people who have dumped the toxic waste.
Of course. I like when the one guy's getting eaten outside the car and two dudes are in the car. They watch him get eaten. Then they're like, oh, go, get out of here.
And that Sayles just having fun. It's a great script. I actually, after I finished watching it, I said, you know what? I'm going to try to get my hands on the actual script just so I can read it and go through it. Gives you a different
the only thing that really didn't kind of live up was the very end with the bomb. And he's just stuck under a car for like 2 minutes. And then they just move the car and he climbs out. It's like, oh, wow, that was suspenseful. Even that just added to the cheesy goodness of it. It was like they didn't really know what to do here. So he can't just climb out.
I'm going to tell you, John Sayles, his first screenplay was Piranha. Then Battle Beyond the Stars. Remember that one, Jack?
Oh, yeah.
Alligator, The Howling. I mean, for that alone.
Now,
dang.
At the beginning of this movie, it seems like they're in Missouri. Then all of a sudden, it's Chicago.
Yeah. Well, wasn't the very beginning where they get the alligator? Weren't they on a trip?
I don't know.
I thought they were on like a vacation.
They were on a vacation, but I feel like they were entering Missouri.
By the way, did I miss something? Why did the father go snake and had to like flush the alligator? Was he drunk and angry?
I didn't understand that, but he clearly was a moron because he's with his daughter and watches a man get mauled by an alligator and then promptly buys her one as a pet to take to their house.
That twisted little kid wanted one after that. Oh, I gotta have one of those, Daddy.
Yeah.
Like the parents were idiots. Even the mom, while the guy's leg is being chewed on, is like, "Oh, they did have to go overboard with the fake blood." What?
Y'all don't worry. He'll be back on his feet next week. Let's give him a round of applause.
And then when in the modern times when the alligator was going wild, and how quickly the tourism or whatever the material, the
all
marketing
the selling
of
the stuff.
all the selling stuff. And there's a guy selling baby alligators in the park, and Robert Forrest are like, put this guy away.
They wiggle and dance.
Oh, that's good
Yeah,
stuff.
that was, and it's so funny because like the reaction is very. The only thing missing was people whipping out cell phones and taking video just before they die.
Yeah,
It's the only thing you'd have to change.
Trying to get
come
selfies on
this.
Instagram with the giant alligator.
Yo, look at that
One
mouth,
of-
man.
One of the great things about this movie is they show there's enough alligator in this movie.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And you
know,
get a
so
feeling
many-
for the true size of it too.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's the
Unlike
thing. In a
part
movie
two.
like, especially when I was a kid, I would lose my patience with these movies so bad when it was like you have to wait all the way till the end to see the alligator or whatever
Yes.
monster it was. It's like, no, show me. Jaws didn't have to show the shark, but they were still showing shark attacks and stuff. It wasn't like you were bored because they weren't showing the shark. They,
Right.
you know, they unveiled the actual look of the shark, but that's a master class in suspense. Most other movies, it's like, we don't have the budget, so we're not going to show, you know,
Yeah.
we saw somebody scream and then it cuts away.
Show it at the end. But no, that was good because it was like anytime you thought it might lag, and it never lags. I will give it that. There are no drag parts whatsoever. But it just
No.
kept it. That alligator would pop up every 15 minutes.
It's a B movie just with a budget. Like it moves and looks like a B movie, just where they were throwing money around for cool kills.
Yeah. No, it's an excellent movie, and everybody should watch it. Anybody who's likes this show should watch that movie. And Michael Clark also brought up Orca, another great movie that I
haven't seen that in a
loved.
long time.
Bo Derek's leg getting eaten off. And just got the cast. Oh,
I haven't seen that since the freaking 90s.
it used to be like the ad for Orca. Whose motorcycle was that?
Wow.
Oh, that's Jay. I should have known. Comic books, the back of every comic book for a year was the ad for Orca.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I mean, we were Orca crazy.
I saw that in the theater.
Me too. Oh, and Bo Derek. I just wanted to see Bo Derek. And a killer whale. Yeah, that was cool too. So we all agree. Alligator 1, many thumbs up.
Oh yeah. I liked it so much. I watched the remake right after it that was called Alligator 2.
Yes, it has been accused of being a remake.
10 years later, they remade it.
What are we going to get? A middle-aged guy on a police force trying to catch an alligator?
It's beat for beat, just with no money.
No money. Star-studded cast of horror people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because what's his name? Richard Lynch shows up. He's that 1970s TV movie Vampire that I watched. He was the vampire. He's he's in Ghoulies, right? He's like the big bad
he
in
might
that.
be.
Charmed. He was the bad guy in everything.
He can't help it. Look at him.
Yeah.
He was a bad guy in a lot of canon films. Invasion USA, The Barbarians. Anytime they needed a villain, they got Richard Lynch.
Jack, Jason and I had this discussion before you joined. Did you notice the odd bulge in his the front of his pants when he first hit the scene?
No, I didn't.
All right. Well, if anyone hasn't watched it, just focus on that because it's pointing in a strange direction and giving you an ill fit.
I gotta admit, I may have been fighting to stay awake at that point.
Yeah, that was an issue for sure.
It's not a very entertaining movie.
Well, the banter is not the same, although Joe Bologna tries.
He tries his
He
damnedest. Dee Wallace never mails it in.
Nope.
No, for the 2.5 minutes she's in the movie, she's good.
When she is like
Yeah.
with a bunch of test tubes in front of her, like, yes, I work at the university lab. This stuff bubbles and it's in a beaker. I must be a scientist.
But she shows up with the poison dart spear thing from Jaws, and the detective dude is like, "Will this make the bomb inside it explode?"
And she's like, I don't know.
Try it. Your insurance is paid. I'm fine with this.
But the guy
It
that
also starred Steve Railsback as the scummy Vinnie Brown.
I
oh
don't
yeah,
recognize that name.
that's the
Oh,
dark skinned guy,
that's-
the reporter.
He's No,
Oh
he
no,
was
that's the guy from the first movie. I'm thinking of a different guy.
Yeah, no, he was the guy in charge of the whole, like, they were taking doing the redevelopment.
Yes,
The mobster kind of guy.
the mobster guy.
Who was fucking up the mayor, Major Healy.
So Major Healy was the thing I wanted to talk about. What else? I saw Bill Daly. I'm like, what? Bill Daly's in this movie? Major Healy?
Yeah.
He was in Newhart too.
Yep.
When he shoots the mayor on the freaking Ferris wheel,
Ferris wheel,
no one notices. Like, oh
No.
my god.
Yeah.
Oh,
I felt bad
the
for
mayor's
Major Healy.
daughter seems like she's going to be a pretty big part of the movie because she shows up and has this whole scene at a wrestling match that never ends. It's like 20 minutes of watching Professor Sub-Zero and other guys wrestle
In like a theater, like in a dinner theater,
like a high-end dinner.
Why do I think a lot of the money came from whoever was sponsoring that wrestling match? They had to, right?
Seriously. So the daughter has this whole introduction and she meets one of the main characters and then she's out of the movie. She does not come back until the end. It's like, what? Who wrote this? What is happening right now?
By the way, the cop that she was interested in told her that she had a nice ass. Or he said it in a better way, but I'm like, oh, there we go. There's some continuity between the two.
They definitely lifted a little bit. There was a shot where the alligator is going into the lake and it kind of pushes a park bench out of the way and crawls in. It's literally a shot taken from the first movie.
I was going to say, I thought that was a shot taken from the first movie.
Yeah.
100%.
By the way, I looked it up. The place where this is happening doesn't exist.
Regent Park.
Yeah. There's no Regent Park. I think there is one in London. And it looked like Florida or something. And well, that can't be so shocking. There's an alligator going around in Florida.
Right. They wouldn't.
I thought maybe California, but
I couldn't tell. It was all make believe. And this alligator, it seemed like a regular size alligator.
It seemed like a regular size alligator that moved so slow, but apparently was just very armored.
Yeah, it was bullet resistant.
I guess. The movie was so uninspired. Kane Hodder's death was nothing. He just kind of looked around and then like slumped in the water in front of the alligator.
Really, boy?
Oh. Although I will say this, Richard Lynch, as always, 100% in going for it. I love that guy.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And he is scary looking when he's wet.
He had like
he's scary looking dry, but even worse when he's wet.
He had the Cajun drawl thing going.
I love that stuff.
That's so good.
And Brock Peters as Chief Speed.
Oh yeah, that guy. He's in the Star Trek 6 too.
Yeah, the angry African American head of the department. You're off the force.
Oh, when he dies, when they flip his car.
Oof.
Oh, that was so bad. Oh, that was so bad. They didn't even show the cars hitting. They just showed them driving side by side.
And the typical A-team maneuver. Up and over.
Yeah, he hit a giant pile of debris in the middle of the road for no reason. Like a giant pile.
Yeah, he could have avoided it. It was so left or right.
And in the sewer system, there's it's like the bayou. There's like reeds and stuff like that in the sewer system.
In this sewer, yes. The other sewer in the first was garbage.
Yeah, poopy.
Methane.
But when the alligator's in there, and then even more when it gets to the fairground or whatever, and in the lake, I mean, when it's in a lake, it's like they just took a canoe, flipped it over, painted a alligator, and pushed it.
Yeah, it's
slowly. But that thing moved so slowly that I'm like, this would be the easiest thing to just like trap.
You'd think.
You would think so.
But no.
No, they didn't spend a whole lot of time working on the writing of this.
No, well, especially when they get in the little rowboat to go after it.
Oh my god, forgot about that. Yeah, because then that's when Richard Lynch. I'm spoiling it. Who gives a shit?
It doesn't matter.
His death scene where he just keeps stabbing it over and over while it's just rolling him in the water. It's so good, so good.
Jack, which movie was it? The first where they were searching for the sewer worker named Ed Norton, or the second?
Oh,
did you pick up on that?
I didn't.
I'm going to say it's probably the first because that seems smarter.
Shame on me for missing that.
Yeah. I'm not in a sewer, Ralph.
Hey there, Ralphie.
There's an alligator down here.
Hello, Ball.
Hello, Death. But yeah, it's just the second alligator. You just never get a sense this is a big alligator that's should cause damage to anybody.
the barrels, future chemicals, right? Like they don't try and hide the dumping at all.
I love when the one redneck goes over and grabs the top of the barrel and it's like, oh, that burns. Like it says chemicals on it.
Chemicals, poison signs on it, you dummy.
Oh God.
This is why
once again, you always have to blow up the monster. In Grizzly, it was a bazooka.
Yes.
And this one, it's 2 Laws rockets. One deflects off of it, and the other one hits the bomb that it had swallowed, apparently.
I
guess. It's hard to tell.
The cops were very well armed in both movies. They just had sticks of dynamite lying around, bazookas.
In the first one, when the guy is in the police station with the fake bomb,
yeah,
and you're like, oh, I know that's coming back.
They at least wrote why there was dynamite in the police station.
Yeah.
And that evidence room did not have much evidence.
Nope, it had dynamite. Oh God.
Yeah, these they're very. It's amazing how you can have the exact same concept and have 2 completely different movies.
It's like one cared and one could care less.
It's like one was like, maybe were they all going, why are we doing this? Why are we here?
The money definitely went to the cast. I mean, they had Dee Wallace, Richard Lynch, Kane Hodder.
Well,
Bill
Kane,
Bailey.
I'm sure, made nothing.
I don't even think he spoke.
I think he screamed when he got eaten.
He had 1 or 2 lines because I was like, oh, because you mentioned that he was in this, so I'm looking for him. I'm like, oh, there he is.
The mayor's daughter was on Baywatch.
She looked like she could be on Baywatch.
She was attractive. Yeah.
Yeah, she was.
They were definitely putting her in some tight dresses.
Well, Michael Clark brings up a good point. The Jaws ripoff. There is a moment when it comes on shore at the carnival where they literally are going dun 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 dun.
Oh yeah, that's right.
No one will notice. It's fine. Jaws came out in the 70s.
Yeah.
This
movie was hard to get through.
Yeah, this is that period of 90s where movies were making so much money on VHS that they were just giving money to just the dumbest shit, and this feels
it
like
just had to have a good cover.
Yep.
Yeah, this it did have a good cover. I'll give it that. Not much else. Yeah.
What a movie.
Look, if you're a Joe Bologna completist, this is the movie for
you. Who's not?
Wasn't he in Blame It on Rio? So if you love Blame It on Rio, you'll thoroughly hate Alligator 2.
Blame it on Bologna.
Blame it on Bologna. It wasn't his fault. He was trying. I liked him salsa dancing with the girl outside the food truck. I thought that was kind of sexy. Yes. I think that might have qualified as cheating on his wife.
I forgot about that.
And I want Dee Wallace to serve me dinner wearing a black negligee.
If Dee Wallace is at Scares the Care, we got to talk to her. Be like, what the hell were you doing in this movie?
Yeah, what?
She'd be like, there's a lot of movies you can ask me about that, like that.
Probably. She's been in a ton of shit.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to work with Bill Daly.
You imagine if that was the case?
It's Major Nelson. Come on. I mean, Major Healy. Come on.
Yeah. Well, he must have been pissed watching JR. Why can't I get a role like that?
Hey, he took Richard Dawson's place on Match Game.
Did he? I didn't even realize that.
Yep.
Well, now it's all Steve Harvey land, so.
I'm your man, Steve Harvey.
So, look, we've said all that needs to be said for this.
Yeah.
We've given this sequel far more time than it deserves. But there are way worse things you can watch, too. So I will tell you, don't shy away from it, because it is. If you watch it with people, like some friends, and have a drink or two,
it could be an inadvertent comedy. Yeah.
Yeah. And there were parts I think they meant it to be funny. So what the hell? Not as
If you're
bad
just
as
looking for good generic gangsters, look no further.
The subplot about displacing people from their homes was so stupid.
Those Regent Park hoodlums, though, had nice silk screened vests or jackets.
Oh, the bad boys, or whatever they call themselves.
Yeah, the bad boys.
Holy crap! Yeah, they were terrifying. It's the best Regent Park has to offer.
I agree, though. I think the best part of the whole thing is Bill Daly getting shot on the Ferris wheels.
Poor guy.
He was just getting pushed around so bad.
So we have no idea what we're going to watch next week.
What a shock!
But I will say there is a movie coming on Shudder. It's like a animated, like a claymation thing that's supposed to be absolutely.
We saw
amazing.
the trailer for that.
It's taken them 20 years to make it, so it's premieres on Thursday. So maybe that. Oh no, aren't we having special guests on next week?
Oh yes, we need to talk about that once we because that won't take the whole show.
Okay, so we're gonna have a special guest next week, a very special guest who might have
probably just one
created a movie that we've reviewed recently.
Yeah,
and then maybe we'll do the other one. So we'll figure it all out. So surprise next week, but it'll be something new.
Yeah, we'll probably have the guest, and then I'm guessing a main feature after that.
Right, so, that'll be fun. Oh, no curation. Thank God.
It's good. I don't have time to watch shit anyway.
I know. Although I'm all caught up on The Boys, which
Boys
is
so good.
Didn't even start it. Son of a bitch.
I've been doing that in Stranger Things. I'm like, man, what a difference. The Boys is the thing that should have like the Boys experience and everyone talking about it, not Stranger Things. But
every episode of The Boys, I just shake my head like they're just making this show for me and my friends. Like, thank you.
Thank you for making people's bodies explode as much as humanly possible. So strap in. Next week we will reveal all between now and then, and you'll know. So until then, keep watching horror and please make a good horror movie. Wait, what? Sober and Silly special guest. You mean we finally get to see who Sheridan Bradford is? Maybe, unless his power cord never gets repaired. So maybe not. All right, everybody. Good night.
Bye.
See ya.